Okay, this is a debate.
Sure is. What are we debating about today?
Affirmative action.
Alright.
Present your arguments, Chris.
Well, I don't even know if that constitutes... What do you constitute as affirmative action before we start debating?
Affirmative action is any program or any kind of movement within a particular system, whether it's an educational system, a business, or anything involving applications or some kind of competition for a job or a spot in some kind of program. So basically affirmative action is designed to get an underrepresented minority, oftentimes someone that's pretty self-explanatory, someone that's underrepresented in society, into a position, often regardless of like some of their other qualities. Say,
how do you know? What statistics do you have that's proven that that's the pure factors, that they're not competent workers? Or
no. They have to display at least some level of competence, but it's moreover if you're an equal. If, like you were saying before, if you're on an equal playing field, then it would be the underrepresented minority that would be given the job.
Right, and I agree with that because they're underrepresented. And then how else do they become representatives?
So while it contributes to diversity, I guess.
Yeah, forget about diversity.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, not that I agree with
why
diversity.
Why else would you?
Because they already. How else are they going to move forward? Because the whites were already, and everyone else, or the people were already on top. They're already on top.
Right, but
reason, not because of themselves.
It's discriminatory to other.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's discriminatory to not discriminate against people who are already discriminated.
What I'm trying to say is we shouldn't get any government involvement at all in this. We should let the colleges and businesses choose whoever they want, and then
what if it is that is who they want?
If they don't want blacks, or
they do want it though, because they want those commercials where they have people of all ethnicities.
Exactly. If that's what they want, that's what they want. We'll let society weed out the businesses that they frown upon.
Yeah, but there's this notion that there's like people like, or a minority that's completely incompetent and then gets a job over someone who's
No, I'm not. I wouldn't. No, I don't think that actually.
Well, maybe not you, but
that's
a popular notion amongst many people.
Where are these statistics? No, I'm just kidding.
It's not statistics. You just need to hear somebody speak.
No, I don't think that's what. I wouldn't say that's a popular notion. I think that might be a notion.
But then you agree that someone who's superior enters the role?
Yes.
Well, my argument is that they're not superior, and that they're equal.
No one is superior. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you put them into
it's not because they're already disadvantaged, though. You have more advantages since you are the institution.
Yeah, but what?
It's like in the case of Backy, they rules that you can't just be a black person and then you get the job. At least that's how it is, or it's supposed to be. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
No,
but
of course
you have to have something else with it.
Oh,
So
yeah,
if you're poor or something, you had a broken family, whatever.
I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
But no, they won't get forward though. It's like almost proven that it's at least 100 times more difficult than you getting forward and going to a nice college and going to this.
That's just your circumstance. Right, it's called
but it doesn't change
rugged individualism.
It's not going to move anyone forward though. You talk about moving forward.
Well, putting people. Well, it depends on what you judge as moving forward. What is moving forward in your opinion against what is moving forward in another person's opinion?
Oh, equal opportunities for everyone.
Well, there is an equality of opportunity in this country.
No, there isn't. Absolutely not.
Yeah, everyone is given the opportunity.
How are they given if they're already poor? being with
You have
their
to
parents
make
who go.
it. You have to
You
make
can't.
it to the
Did
show.
you have to make it? No, you didn't.
No.
You might have worked. I'm not saying you didn't work hard, but you might
You
not.
have to
But
make it
you
to
have
the show.
more advantages and more opportunities than someone
Well,
else.
they can get their own
Can
job.
they?
Why wouldn't they?
It's not about want, but how would you know if you haven't been in that position? Though you already have those opportunities set up for you. So how can you say you're equal to someone else who's more disadvantaged than you are?
But how can you say that they can't go out and
I didn't
get
say
their
they
own
can't,
job?
but it's a far more difficult, and I don't think it's right for them for it to have to be more difficult for them. It's like when people always say, it's like I hate we're cutting back for people, or cutting some slack for people by giving them this job when someone else is just as equal to get it. That's of the institution, the white male or something like that. But it's just like, did your parents, were they cutting you some slack when they paid for your tuition or something? I'm not saying you specifically, I'm saying anyone. Or your parents, let's say your dad, okay, let's say your dad or someone or a mom or whoever, a friend, gets you a job because they're already in a position like that, and say disadvantaged minority doesn't have that kind of higher position, so they can't get that kid a job. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Is that cutting you some slack because they gave you that job because they knew you?
Right, but why should we punish somebody?
No one's being punished, though. That's not
for
being
not
punished. You said before, didn't you say before, you're like, well, that's just the circumstances.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
No, but why can't we say that to the white person that doesn't get the job to the equal minority?
Yeah.
But they have better shots.
I'm not arguing that we shouldn't give it to the minority. I'm just arguing, I just say we should let just let private institutions determine whatever they want and not have the government
What if
set
they
a
want more white
regulation.
people, though? What if they want it? What if they're racist?
Do it. And
that's not do. That's racist. Then that makes us even more backward.
Let people boycott the college. Let people boycott the business and let it fail because they see them as having racist policies. That's how you have to.
You think it would play out like that?
If they're having a reputation, especially if the media.
Okay, they're not gonna. We already know that they don't want to have that reputation. Okay, we already know that's not how it works, though.
Well, then word of mouth really would have to be relied upon. Just people saying, "Wow, they didn't hire me because they're racist," and then that just spreads around. That's how it's gonna have to happen. That's how the free market operates.
Not just speaking of. That's not necessarily. Though, because the thing with jobs are already paid lower for minorities and for women. They don't get paid the same amount, and they don't have as high positions as other males in their fields. So we don't have to we can say this is a gender issue as well, not just ethnicity or color of skin or social class.
Lobby. If you have an effective lobby, things can happen.
I don't know if they do.
I don't know if they do
either. There's still inequalities today.
It's the new world. It's the new world order, basically.
Oh, this goes far beyond the new world order.
I know, you could look at it in many different ways to explain it.
Alright, well, I recommend you touch up on some black writings or my other oppressed people, but I specifically recommend the black voice, because it hasn't really been my voice or anything, so it's educated me a little bit more. I can't say I've been completely enlightened because, just reading something or seeing something doesn't do enough, it's just, like, you don't watch Roots or read the autobiography of Malcolm X and you're suddenly enlightened. It doesn't work that way. It just educates you a little bit more. So that's what I recommend for you and anybody else out there.
And I recommend you some good reading on free market.
I've done some reading on free market, and I already
totally uninhibited free markets.
Yeah.
No government restrictions on anything.
I don't think so. But it sounds like
that's the next debate.
Okay. It's been fun.
It's been fun for this
Good
one.
hearty handshake.